have any visitors. Yes.
I am here, my name is Lisa Leslie. I am the general manager for all of Mr. Griffith's properties. He owns the 416 Main Street beside the Subway. Okay, I need to let you all know that we need that wall approved the way it's being constructed to hold up, because he's got two businesses waiting to go in there. He's got a discount grocery store and he has a sit-down restaurant. We were informed about 2 weeks ago that Randall's Restaurant in Churchill is closing its doors this Sunday. Okay? This Sunday.
20th.
Yeah, the 20th is the last day.
Yeah.
Okay? All of the employees that he has employed down there are ready to come to work for Jim. But I can't do it without the approval of that wall, and for some reason, every time we go to get the wall approved, no one wants to come down here. No engineer will come at all. I have called 5 engineers. They do not want anything to do with it. I have a federal qualified inspector that has laid out everything about the wall and how the steel that's holding the wall up is 50% over what is needed to make that wall safe. For some reason, the building inspector doesn't want to talk about it. That's two businesses for this town. That's millions of dollars that could be brought into this community. Jobs, tons of jobs. I mean, not counting all the ladies and the gentlemen from the restaurant, but you know, I'm talking about discount grocery store. We're going to have a lot of employees to hold that down too. I need everything approved so we can move forward. You know, I mean, it's a good business.
We can all answer those.
Okay, that's fine.
Jim?
I just want to make a comment about the woman back here that had the two businesses here. I hope we get moving and get some business in here. If we can get $2 million money coming in here, that's great. We need to work on it and get it done. Because this town has been teetotaling around long enough. It's time to start moving and get the business in here.
Mindy?
You're next.
Well, I thank everybody for the Saturday. It's great. And next Halloween, you'll want to go to Mr. Gillum's house because he knows how to hold out candy.
Hey, listen, he was not.
He was shoveling it.
I'll have to say this for him. He's been called Scrooge by me and the Grinch by you, but I'll have to give him credit. He was an angel down there.
Really? Big time.
I mean, he would not do nothing but get in those big hands in the candy like this and take it to the cars and throw it in their laps. So, and they loved it, and you should have seen that face brighten up. We need to see that more.
I was doing that because I know I got my hands in candy. I'm putting mine in my pocket.
The kids would not
You
get
gotta
a
take care of
hand.
yourself. Where'd the fire chief go?
Mike, House right, City Manager. John?
My only real comment would be that I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas and safe holiday season if they're traveling. And then the only other thing that I think I ought to address just is that the building that they were discussing is actually the subject of a recent lawsuit that the town was in.
You're talking about the building,
Yes.
what she's talking about.
The
Okay.
town was recently dismissed from the lawsuit and found to have done nothing wrong. We've had 2 engineers inspect that wall. They both said it's dangerous. I mean, it's at most 15 feet from that building. It's probably about 20 feet tall, and it's leaning in towards the building. Issuing a certificate of occupancy for a building like that to let people go in there is inviting potential liability. If that wall falls in there and the town has put a stop work order in, defended a lawsuit successfully, and then goes back and issues a certificate of occupancy and that wall falls in, the town's in for a lot more than $2 million.
Did they reinforce that wall with steel or anything down there?
It doesn't matter. According to the engineer, the problem is the wall's construction in general. It's not built up to specifications and it won't support the load of that thing.
Why didn't they stop it when they first see it as an inspector? That's what gets me.
It was stopped as soon as he knew it was a problem. The town's not liable.
So now what do you suggest?
The town should do nothing.
So what are they gonna do, just leave it sitting there and be another food city and move it to Churchill?
Ultimately, it's not something that we can control.
I'll recognize you.
You can't recognize anybody yet.
They don't own the land behind it. It abuts the railroad.
Is it with the railroad?
Yeah, it abuts the railroad and there's not space to dig back in there.
Okay, the wall is not 20 foot high, it's 7 foot high. The building's coming down this week. The building is being torn down.
The wall is
Okay.
more than
The
7 feet
building,
high.
no, it's not. No, it's not. I've got pictures. I've got pictures.
Well,
The
and
building-
one of the problems is the wall wasn't tall enough, in general.
We were going by the specifications of your building inspector.
That's not what was
And,
stated on
yeah,
record.
that
so.
is it. We were
Has
going
that
by
not, you
specifications
said
of the
that
building.
did go to court, right?
It's
And-
been to court,
and-
the case has been dismissed.
Okay.
As to the town. There are other defendants that are still involved.
I'm
but
not
the
here
town.
to do anything about a lawsuit, that's not why I'm here. I'm here to let the citizens know, the building is coming down. We already have a demolition permit through you guys. So as soon as the building comes down, he can fix the wall. You know, he can fix it, but I can't get Vince Fishner to talk to the qualified engineer who works for the federal government. No one will touch it. No one wants anything to do with it.
Could you tear it down and build it further away from the wall?
Well-
The wall would fall on
Well, the wall's being fixed. The problem with the wall will be fixed when the building comes down. The steel that leans up against the wall, which I don't know if I have photos of it, but it's 6x6 angle iron. I have a qualified engineer from the federal government that says that he's doing everything right to the wall. It goes 3 foot in the ground. It would physically have to buckle into a U shape for the wall to fall. This is coming from a federal engineer, but I cannot get Vince Fishner to okay that part of it. So we can move forward. The building has nothing to do with it. The building needs to come down. By the way, the building the way it is because of the building inspector. The building inspector let the wood lay out there for 2.5 months in the weather before he came out and had it inspected. Then the person that inspected it was actually a shop foreman / truck driver. And he okayed that. That's why the building has to come down. Mr. Griffith's out $500,000 right now because of that. This is just, I'm his general manager over all of his properties. He owns an industrial park in Kingsport. He owns CJ Sports Bar. I'm sure you all have heard of it.
it. I know who
Well,
It is very, very successful.
We need to move on.
Okay, that's fine.
The longer we go, the more it's gonna take, cost the town with a,
Can we get somebody,
Lawyers,
you
say.
and him, go down there and check that wall and see how high it is? I'll go.
Sued by this man. The building inspector has been sued by him. Personally.
Well, somewhere's wrong, somebody's not doing their job, or somebody did something stupid.
And it was not the town.
If they take the building down, repair the wall, then our inspector has to go back to check it, correct?
I mean, I would assume so, but, you know, those things have yet to be done,
Right, I understand that.
so. Now, you know, I'll obviously have to talk to our insurance carrier's attorney as well that handled this case for us. Another problem that we run into is that if the town takes some action that reignites a lawsuit against it, in this case, there is a high likelihood that our insurance carrier will not defend it. In which case, the town will have to pay me to defend it, and it's gonna cost a whole lot more than the premium we pay in insurance.
So once this is done, can we have a state inspector come in and look at it?
I mean, we've had it,
I mean, once they make repairs, I'm not talking about before they do any repairs.
I don't know that the state inspector has authority over our property.
Well, how about the railroad? Do they have any say so about it? I know it was right next to the railroad there.
No clue, but as I understand, the railroad's not
They
not intent on helping anyone do anything, so.
They won't even help us get
They
this
just
out
don't
here,
have it.
widened.
So,
Yeah.
what do you tell them, we're just gonna sit around and not do nothing, and let two businesses go out to Churchill? So, is that what you're telling me?
It's not in our hands at this point.
Well, then whose hands is it?
It's in the property owner's hands.
Yeah.
And he's
Well, I
trying to
know
fix the
that part.
situation.
But once they get the building down, are we gonna have a problem getting the inspector down there?
I don't imagine so, but the problem has to be corrected. The demolition permit has been pulled for close to a year, I believe it is.
Yes.
And there's been absolutely nothing done. The property as it says, and Mr. Peavy, correct me if I'm wrong, the property as it sits right now, there's nothing for us to do.
That's correct.
We can't take action to certify the wall. We can't take action, nothing's changed. The entire situation that has unfolded here, we have been named in a lawsuit. The lawsuit went forward, it was ultimately dismissed. During that time, nothing has changed. The condition of the wall hasn't changed. The proximity of the building to the wall hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is that a judge has determined that we do not bear a liability here.
We're not at fault, is what the judge said.
But now, you
We're not
know,
what?
We're not at fault.
if we do take action, outside of anything else, then we can very easily, create that liability. And if we do create that liability, and I'm sorry, I feel like
No,
I'm
you're fine.
restating exactly what you said. If we do create that liability, we're talking about, Miss Leslie?
That's Leslie.
Miss Leslie said, you know, they've got $500,000 into this project. If we create that liability and this goes to court and we are named in this suit again and we lose, then that's, TML would typically pay out a lawsuit of this nature should we lose. But now, if we take direct action after, against council's recommendation, after we've already been dismissed from a suit and create a situation where we're liable, then it's very likely that TML is not going to, one, defend us. We'll be eating the attorney's fees, to defend us. And two, if we were to lose the case,
We won't be indemnified.
we won't be indemnified and we will pay $500,000 out of the general fund.
Where did you get that rule that you just said that it was 7 feet high? Where did you get that at?
Well, it's not a rule. I mean, I've been to the wall with the engineer.
And it's 7 foot high?
It does not look 7 foot high to me.
Is it supposed to be?
No. The engineer's study, which was filed with the court, states what the wall should be to bear the load of that bank. I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but it wasn't sufficient.
So you say that wall down there right now is not high enough?
I believe that's what the engineer determined, yes, because you've got a problem with a bank of that nature, the way the pressure compounds the further you get down towards the ground, depending on the height. It's just,
But she just said that there's angle arm put down, cause that's interlocking block. Angle arm is 3
it
foot
doesn't
to
change,
ground.
it doesn't change the calculus. I understand your point, but it's, it's just.
So in other words, in
the way it
hillbilly
goes.
terms, until the landowner, building owner makes repairs,
We need to just
gets the wall to spec, we're not gonna be down there.
That's what,
And I agree with that.
that's our recommendation. 100%.
I would just like to see.
We're not saying we're not coming.
I agree with that.
We're
I'm
not
just saying
coming
the building is being taken down. It'll probably be, the steel will probably, or not steel, the metal on the outside of the building will probably be coming down this week. He, has workers in there taking some of the 2x4s
Yeah.
out and stuff.
I wish Tina came up here.
He's very close to this project. He gets very upset very easy. So he chose not to.
Well, in other words, you think he should be.
I mean, yes, it would be better because he gets very upset.
And Jim grew up here too.
And
That's
he
what I
grew
was
up
thinking.
in the town of Mount Carmel. He owned J&J Discount Grocery Store that was in the old.
He grew up here.
That's what that building was supposed to be. Was J&J Discount Grocery, and that's what he was building it for. That's his intent of putting that back up there. If we can get it approved the way the wall is stabilized now, there's no problem. He's going forward with the project. He's not doing anything like that. But the building will come down. It will be stabilized. But we have to have somebody that actually has common sense to go down there and inspect it.
Well, we need to close.
No matter how you do it, you're still gonna have the same inspectors.
Yeah.
Well, we need to close this meeting, because it's getting
Motion
late.
to adjourn.